Welcome to Monster Mingle, a place for urban legends to find romance, where full moons lead to fuller hearts, and all the thirsty singles have fangs. This is how it works. Illustrator Bryan Politte comes up with the creatures, and I, Drew Cheel, horror author, give them a backstory. Meet the third. He's a punk, a vegan, and one other thing. Just wait until you get to the end before you decide if you're smitten. About me. Let's rip this band-aid off right away. I'm a zombie, a reanimated stiff with all the stigma that comes with. A type A necromortis, if I had to put a label on it. That means I died, and something brought me back to life. I was on a first date with Sadie, a pleather-clad, tough-as-nails woman of principle. She'd gotten word of an illegal animal testing facility by the waterfront. She wanted to break in, take some snapshots, and shut the place down. Together we biked along the river, cut through the fence and trekked through the ruins of an abandoned warehouse district. When Sadie pointed out the facility, it felt like someone down there was smiling up at me. I'd been to that building on an urban exploration expedition and knew a way in. I pried a manhole cover open, took Sadie by the hand, and eased her in. We skipped through the sewers. Our flashlights danced across the tunnel walls until we came to a submarine door marked quarantine. I wasn't there before. It's probably just to scare us, like a sign that says, "This home is protected by Sentinel security," when all they've got is a sign. Well, good thing I brought a key. I pulled a crowbar from my messenger bag. From there we ascended through an M.C. Escher etching of graded platforms and spiral stairs, until we came upon a lab with biohazard symbols on the doors. There was a chamber with a sign that read, "Instructions to be followed to the letter." Sadie wasn't in much of a mood for reading, so she just zoomed right in. The lights went on the moment we stepped in, and the vents sprayed us with a chemical bath. When the gas cleared, there was a maze of cages before us. They looked empty, but Sadie was determined to find something. She dashed in. I struggled to keep up, but it wasn't long before I lost her. "Look! Monkeys!" Sadie shouted from somewhere around the bend. Just then, a chimpanzee charged at his bars. I leapt back, slipped on a banana peel, and fell over a railing down a flight of stairs and snapped my neck like a drumstick. I'm not sure what happened next. I heard Sadie call my name. Maybe she thought I'd chickened out or bailed. Maybe she figured photos couldn't get the job done like some good old-fashioned eco-terrorism. All I remember was an alarm, men's voices, then shouting, gunshots, and screams. Before it all faded to black, I saw a troop of red-eyed monkeys lining the railing above me. The next thing I know, I'm having a panic attack in a pine box. I scratched the lid until the wood thinned. My fingers were thick with splinters, and I was swimming in worms. The soil was wet with rainwater. I could just make out the faint claps of thunder. It took hours to claw my way out of the muck, and when I emerged into the cemetery, you better believe I was hungry. Nobody told me I was infected with a weaponized pathogen, bioengineered to amp up my aggression. I found that out the hard way when I tried to clothesline a cherub and bent my arm back. In my delirium, I slithered along the ground and gnawed on a bouquet of rose petals. But when I happened upon a flock of goslings, I knew to leave them alone. My instincts were telling me to chomp their necks to bits, but I was able to resist. The rage virus, with all its augmented aggression, couldn't bypass decades of vegan conditioning. I'd been an herbivore for 20 years and counting, and I knew that whenever I had an overwhelming urge for meat, it was because I wasn't getting the right nutrients. Fortunately, the cemetery was near a GNC, so I hopped the fence, scurried across the lot, and dove into the dumpster. Bon appetit. My physical features. To be clear, that's not blood on my collar, it's gazpacho. That isn't brain matter on my sleeve either, it's tofu. Maybe a little cauliflower. And no, that isn't a length of intestine draped around my collar. That's a vegan sausage length, and I'm saving it for later. As for my other features, if you like body mods, you're gonna love me. I've got a barbell in my brow, a lip ring, a tongue stud, a septum piercing, helix piercings, and a 10-gauge plug. Oh, and those monkeys were into scarification, so I've really got that going on. As for my body itself, the rage virus makes me super athletic. Unlike those other zombies, I'm a sprinter, not a limper. Like a hummingbird seeking nectar, I'm always on the way to my next protein source. My perfect match. I'm in a subculture within a subculture within a subculture, which makes it hard for me to meet someone. Most living dead girls aren't that into lentil. My perfect match would have a reverence for all living and unliving creatures. She'd be outspoken and have a strong drive to change the world. She'd be open to punk rock, a vegan diet, and the strong vanilla fragrance I use to mask the stench of death. My intimate details. The average person needs 2.4 micrograms of vitamin B12 a day. I need several hundred milligrams. Otherwise, all those joggers look like cartoon chicken drumsticks, and I run the risk of breaking my vegan commitment. Most zombies don't burn too many brain cells thinking about where their nutrients are coming from. They see their livestock crammed onto escalators or huddled into movie theaters and just pig out. But I'm a necrocore herbivore. I have standards. My DIY system for managing my symptoms keeps me out of the tidal wave of ravenous slam dancers. But that urge to join them is there. Life has gotten harder since the grocers started bleaching their old produce and GNC started locking their dumpster. I run the risk of going full GG Allen unless my partner can keep those vitamins coming. A punk rock botanist capable of synthesizing B12 from colloidal algae would be like a goddess to me. My ideal date. We'll get black bean burgers at a joint with tagged up toilets and live music, preferably a place with lots of exits, leading to wide open lots and not narrow back alleys. There were a lot of cages in that facility and a lot of monkeys on that railing. It's only a matter of time until the virus finds its way downtown. Then all those fancy butcheries where hipsters cure their own meats will spill into the streets and everyone will see how the sausage is made. Had these carnivores gone vegan, they'd stay functioning during the zombie apocalypse. Instead, they're going to give in to their baser instincts and flame broil everything. Let's bike up to Lover's Lane, roast a couple of gelatin-free marshmallows, and watch the world burn. This has been Monster Mingle. To catch more, go to drewchield.com. Thank you. Ending videos is easy.